Good morning, my dear students. Today we are discussing about Ammosytile larva and its significance. So, in the last class, we have discussed about the class Cyclostomata with the living representatives, that is, Myxin and Petromyzon. So, we have already seen the general organization of Petromyzon and Myxin. Today we are learning about that is the Ammosytile larva, which is a larval stage of Petromyzon. Why and its significance? Why it is so important? So when you look at the class Cyclostomata, the word meaning, that is cyclos means circular and stoma, that means the mouth. So these are what we call it as living agnathas, and the presence of suctorial mouth, which is ventral in position, or the shape of the mouth, it is round. Because of all these character, it is named as cyclostomata. So next, that is Ammosytile larva, which we call it as the larval form of lamprey. So this, it shows a typical filter feeding mechanism, and this larva, which is lies buried in the sand in a U-shaped tube. So this larva and the adult stage, when you take the difference, you will find different lifestyle when you compared with the adult and the larva. So this it is what it shows a different lifestyle when you compare to the adult. So here it is an active swimmer, a parasite and sanguivorous. So the Ammosytile larvae are typical, they are filter feeders. So this Ammosytile larva, they will resembles the Amphioxus. We have already discussed Amphioxus, that is example which comes under the subphylum, that is Cephalochordata, where the notochord will runs from the head region and it will end at the tail region. So this larval form cylindrical and eel-like, and when you measure it, it is about 10 mm long. And at the first stage it will be transparent, but later on it will become opaque. So now we'll see the morphological character of Ammosytile larva. So this is eel-like fish, and it is entirely different from that of the adult. So the head differs from that of the adult, that is the mouth cavity, it is surrounded by an upper and the lower lip, and these containing a number of, that is buccal tentacles, or we call it as the oral cirri, but it is devoid of teeth and tongue. So here in case of adult, you can see the presence of a horny teeth which is suctorial, which makes the animal sucks the blood very easily. At the posterior end of the buccal cavity, there is a presence of velum, which is followed by the pharynx. So in the pharynx, the presence of gill pouches you can see. So the gill arches and the gill lamellae, so they came and lie in the wall of these pouches. So along the ventral surface of the pharynx is seen a double strand of mucus secreting cells, which are known as endostyle. So that will give rise to the thyroid gland of the adult. So dorsally, in the head region, so a presence of median nostril, on a side an eye, and also you can see the auditory organ which are present in the head region. So when you took the division of the brain, so you can see the brain has been shown the divisions. So here the median fin is continuous along the greater part of the body, so that will forms continuously towards the dorsal and the caudal fin. So the larva has its tail receptors, and that will receive the intensity of light. So this larval stage will last for about 3 to 4 years and undergoes metamorphosis to become an adult. See, in this picture you can see the Ammosytae larvae with all the morphological characters you can see, that is the presence of buccal cavity, the presence of velum. Below the velum you can see that is a endostyle, pharynx, so which leads to the other organ. You can see the gill slits, gill arches, they are present, auditory vesicle, eye, median nostril, dorsal fin leading with that of the caudal fin. These are all the morphological character what you can see in the Ammosytae larva. When you come for the metamorphosis nothing but the changes what you found between, that is how exactly they get changed from larval to the adult. So these are filter feeding larval form that get the changes into the blood sucking adult. Some of the changes what you can observe, that is the buccal region elongates, the oral hood becomes the buccal funnel, the mouth becomes rounded, buccal funnel that will bears the horny teeth, tongue and musculature develops. So all these you can see when it has been developed into the adult. Eyes become functional as they move to the surface. The velum guarding the pharynx that get disappears, so that two skeletal rods that they form a filter replace it. In the pharynx region, the gill develops into sac that will open into the branchial chamber. The esophagus, they start to separate from the pharynx and they become dorsal in position. The endostyle later on when they grow up, they will become or changed into thyroid gland. So there is a presence of the median dorsal fin. You can see that have been divided into two dorsal fin and the caudal fin with the help of notches. The skin becomes dark and the larval form now slowly stops burrowing in the mud. So in the larval stage they used to burrow in the mud, but when they grow up they stops burrowing in the mud. So this larval form becomes a young prey, that is now what we call it as free swimming blood sucking adult. So the larval form was adapted to the life in fresh water. So its osmoregulatory process need to be get adapted to the saline environment of the sea. As it's become an adult, it starts to migrate downstream from the sea, that is from the rivers to the sea. So now coming to the significance of the larval form, why it is so important or why it is having so much significance. So this Ammosytae larva has a special significance as it resembles the Amphiaxis. Earlier what I said, that is it resembles the Cephalochordata. There is a connection between Ammosytae, that means the larval stage of Cyclostomata, with that of the Amphiaxis in many of the characters. So the Ammosytae larvae, even though it is a larval stage of adult lamprey, it does not show much of the resemblance with that of the lamprey, but it looks like an amphiaxis. There are several similarities between the two. When you compare with the Ammosytele larvae and amphiaxis, you can see the shape of the body same, the presence of oral hood and tentacles and also filter feeding mechanism, the presence of velum at the entrance of the pharynx, the presence of endostyle and peripharyngeal grooves, the presence of single median dorsal fin. The body is a transparent. The burrowing habit both the amphiaxis and Ammosytele larva show an ability to burrow in the sand. So only the point of difference where you find in between the Ammosytele larvae and also amphiaxis, that is the presence of muscular action of the pharynx, and the velum drives the food particles along with the water current into the pharynx. So the evolution of this muscular movement of the pharynx enables the larva to feed quickly and take a large amount of food. Considering the similarities between the Ammosytele larva of the lamprey, which is a cyclostome, and the amphiaxis, which is a cephalochordata, it is concluded that the cyclostomes and the cephalochordata are related to each other. So there is a larva, that means the Ammosytele larva becomes a link between, that is amphiaxis, which is a cephalochordata, and that is cyclostomes. So this is about the Ammosytele larvae, which is a larval form of Petromyzon, and its significance, how exactly it is related to the amphiaxis. Thank you.